Hey everybody, it's Kim, and I have, I guess, a journey story. The journey never ends, guys. So, this is something that's part of the journey story that I have. My son, Brian, that lives locally, calls me and says, from work, and says, I just got a call from Monroe Police Department, which is a town near us. And so, and they found things along the road, dumped along the road, notebooks and things. And there was a social security card in it. And did I want these things? And he said, I told him yes. Well, yeah. We didn't know because my ex used to write during the end of this copious, never ending notes that were in notebooks. So we weren't sure, was it that? Anyway, my son is working currently in Seattle, so getting to this town is not on his way, and it's really out of the way. It's about 30. It's where I go to my Goodwill. Let's put it that way. So for him, it was out of the way. So I said, you know what? I'll do it. So he calls back and says, is it okay if my mom picks it up? She has a different here's her last name, blah, blah, blah. The officer says yes, but let her know that it's really hard to get into the police department because we are under construction. And I'll tell that part of the story in a minute. Anyway, so I got there, and I am glad that I went. It wasn't anything earth-shattering, but it is just so weird. So everything was wet. The gal comes out with all this stuff. She goes, are you aware that they told you it was wet? And I go, yes, we know. It's wet. It was alongside the road. Which concerns us because what else did they get? Did they get any information, any of our private information? So we're keeping an eye out on our stuff. I'm telling you, you just can't make this stuff up, and I'm ready for this to just be done. I don't want to keep revisiting this, but it is what it is. So, and because we have weird things happen in our life. So I'm so glad I went. Brian was in the military, served in Iraq, but I started a scrapbook of his army time. So it was, the pictures in here, he came over last night and we looked over everything, and were of his time, when we went there and he graduated from boot camp. So let me get going. I'm talking too much, but yeah, see, there's mud in here. I took all the pages out because, yeah, the paper, because this is just a mess. I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, so I'm going to redo these pages. At least he wants the pictures. He goes, look at all the bald heads. I could not recognize Brian when we were there. It was like, oh my gosh, crazy. Because there's just all, yeah, so this one's really wet. But there he is, right there, very faded, but there he is. So this was the front page. And there he is, so young. And I wrote on here, Brian left for boot camp on 1/16/06. He left home a young, nervous boy and returned a proud, confident soldier. So evidently, I think what they did was because there was a boarded up window at the house when I drove by, and I'm thinking what they did was grab boxes and then realize this wasn't something they wanted, so they dumped it. So here he is. He was a tank on tanks. Look at Dad. Oh my gosh. So he's glad to have it back. Here's off of his uniform, which he says he has a million of those. But we never had any pictures of him in his dress uniform. So there he is. So handsome. And there he is. So, and like he said, it'll be fun for Emma to see. Here's this is really, but this is his drill sergeant, who was very nice to me. I'm joking and laughing. He goes, boy, he wasn't nice to me. I go, well, he's your drill sergeant. Here's the barracks. So it was good for him to get to see these memories, right? But look, it's just, ugh. There he is waiting for and then he was not pleased because he goes, okay, when do we leave on the airplane? Oh no, I said, I didn't even think. I go, we're staying a few days to tour Kentucky. He was in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Anyway, he's like, are you kidding me? I just want to go home. So I didn't think about that. But anyway, there we go. That's another Wickheiser story, right? And marching, army. Oh my gosh, there he is. Yeah, those berets. But look at the whole time, once he was out of this, we would turn the car on. That poor guy was so tired. He would just fall asleep the minute the car. Eric's in the back going, well, he's asleep again. And there's that. So, yeah. AIT, I don't know what. So, yeah, I used to do big scrapbook pages. So there's that, and I'm glad we got it back because those are pictures we did not have. Did I show this one? Yes, I did. Okay, so there's that. And then in there was, because the boys never knew this, I mean, this whole family story is so crazy. Oh, I have his, okay. They never knew their grandfather on that side because he retired as a teacher, and I called him my first year for a few months, but then he was killed by a drunk driver. Loved him. Such a great guy. And I think his passing kind of turned the family into not good. So, there's all these pictures. So I think the boys, yes, it's wet. But I think he put these together. Oh, I gotta go through this. There's quite a little womanizer. There's a lot of women in here. Anyway, he did military time. That's him. In Germany and Hawaii, and Brian was in Germany. His dad, Brian's dad, was served in Germany, stationed in Germany. So it's kind of was interesting for him to see some of the pictures. My puppy, I don't know. The Big Shot, I don't know, can you see this? So some of these I think I'm gonna, he was also stationed in Hawaii first, so yeah, they're all sticking together. If I was on speaking terms with his family, I would probably let them know, but I'm not. And they accused us of some pretty terrible things, so I'm good. Royal Hawaiian, look at that. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I'll do with him. Maybe I'll let them know. I don't know. I shouldn't lower myself to their level, but yeah, anyway. But there was some pictures from Germany in here that Brian really enjoyed. So it's just kind of cool. Look at all these. So then there's all these German. I think he must have put this together after, like later. He wrote for the Reader's Digest. He was a vice principal and a teacher. So yeah, so Brian got a kick out of seeing what he had seen, but years before that, right? So here's Austrian. So I might do, scan some of these just out of interest. So, but I get to this. Whew, this stinks. I gotta open the pages or something. Ugh. Any suggestions on how to dry this and preserve it? I don't really want to redo this whole thing because I don't know who these people are, most of them. I know who Charles is, but beyond that I don't. So it's not like I want to. Ugh, that's too bad. But look at the old Christmas tree. Remember that? Where you just hung tons of tinsel. Tinsel was the theme. So anyway, I get driving around. I'm trying to find the police department because I don't go to that police department, so I didn't know where it was. I had my GPS on. Sorry, I'm mumbling. And it told me it's right there. Well, it was totally so I couldn't find anywhere to park. So I parked on this block, had to drive down till I was allowed to park, walk to this place, walk through into this. It's under construction, and this finally I'm walking over all this construction stuff, which I probably shouldn't have been in there. And I say to this construction worker, I'm looking for the police department. He goes, oh my goodness, you're in the wrong place. It's a block over and down the corner. Okay. So I thought, well, I'll keep walking. It's pouring rain. The wind is blowing like crazy. But I thought, he said it's just around the corner, right? Okay. Yeah, no. So I finally find it, and the officer had told my son, call 911 to get in. And the door, the glass door, was completely black. So I thought, okay, dark. And I thought, okay, they're not in there. Don't even try the door, being me. And I call this 911, and they're trying to figure out, because, of course, did I bring the officer's name with me? No. And anyway, I go, wait a minute. And I pull on the door. I go, never mind. I got in. God. It's like, jeez, because I had driven around and around looking for the... Oh, my God. So I get in, and I tell the gal, the receptionist, what I'm there for. And she says, oh, you need to use that phone there and hit 0. Okay, so then I do that, and I'm waiting and waiting, and finally they come out with these books. One of them, the third book I'm not showing you, is probably this thick. It's huge. And it's the history of the Army. Could have done without that. And I said, this is too heavy. She goes, did they tell you it's all wet? I go, yeah. And I said, can I leave this here? I parked way down somewhere because I couldn't find you guys. She goes, sure. So I walk all the way back to my car in the pouring rain. Oh my God. The things I do for my family, right? But we needed this stuff. It just out of curiosity. But how weird. One, I really appreciate. Then I drove all the way back, got in, got the stuff, and went home. But yeah, how strange. I really appreciate the officer calling. He could have just dumped all this. He goes, but I think it seems like it's sentimental stuff. There was one page. I don't know if I have it over here where we're hugging. I don't think I brought it over. I've got these all laying around. No, I didn't. And it's of his dad, him and his dad hugging, me hugging, So, and then my other son, too, was there. But anyway, so it was really nice of him to do that. But, yeah, so it's just like, what else is being dumped along? What did they get? It's just weird. I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm ready for this saga to be over, to move forward. So what happens to me last night? From that old black book, I start dreaming of my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. I'm meeting, it just brings back all these memories, and some of them good, some of them not. My mother-in-law and I did not get along. She was a German woman. Not that there's anything wrong with German women, but she never accepted me. And being that I'm outspoken, I stood up to her, and that totally turned her around to another way. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't bring over. I'll be right back. Okay, so here are the pages. They were laying on another shelf. Like I said, I'm trying to dry that. They're pretty much dry, so. And there just his graduating class, I guess. But look at these poor boys. Oh my gosh. There's my son Brian right there. I honestly didn't recognize him. Eric had to say, that's him, Mom, when he went up on the stage, because I was like, what? So there he's hugging his dad. Carl also was in the Army, so there we are. Me with long hair. And there he is. So, yeah, I'm glad to have, but I don't know. Well, when I was driving around trying to find this place, I drove around and around and around, and, I was like, okay, is this your way of getting back at us? Is this crazy? And there's my other son with his curly hair. He has very, very curly hair. He keeps it very short now. So, yeah, I'm glad we got it back. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just the things that happen with this saga are just never normal, right? So, of course, I'm doing fine, but it just was like, okay, I'm ready to forget about this stuff. I want to kind of move forward and feel closure, and I'm just slowly, it's like somebody's looking down on me and going, you need closure, you want some of your things back, and they got it back for me. I'm going to start crying. Because this is something that is very precious. Any morning, memories of our life and my son's is very precious to me. So How this happened is odd. I'm tired of having these reminders, and yet I was like, very thankful that I got this stuff. And I think it'll be good for the boys to see their grandfather, pictures of him, and he was just a great guy. But my ex never really talked about him. He never told them stories or, anything about him really. And his death was horrific. It was just down the street from where he lived. He'd just been retired for like 8 months, and he got killed by a drunk driver who happened to live next door to where he was living. So the whole thing was another traumatic, So anyway, I was glad to get that book because then they can kind of get a sense of him and see him, because we had no pictures of him. I don't know. It was really strange. So that is good. All right, you guys. I didn't mean to bring you down, but I thought I would share this little saga. You've been along with me for the ride and this journey, and so here we go. Another part, another chapter. But yeah, I'm working on Coca Rosa, which takes me a while, so that's why I haven't been on with any other videos. And I will do a drawing for a giveaway coming up, but that's that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of come on, share another little chapter in this journey. I'll probably put it under my journey video playlist because that's kind of where it fits. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.